how many authors wrote the book of Isaiah? I heard of Deutero-Isaiah, and I even heard of a possible third writer for the book of Isaiah. Why would scholars presume multiple writers for the book of Isaiah? And why do they need to have so much space of time between the entries of these so-called additional writers? Can you please clarify this for me? And thank you so much.
Now, I want to tell you, this is an important question that will bring us to see the depth and validity of Bible prophecies. You see, the mention of a second and third Isaiah was due to how exact and precise the prophecies of Isaiah were written. For instance, years, even hundreds of years before the formation of certain empires, such as the Assyrian, the Babylonians, the Medo-Persian empires, Isaiah spoke of them with such precision that many commentators could not believe it and decided that these were not prophecies that foretold the future, but rather they were written after the event or the events already took place. So they created a second, even a third Isaiah. Yet the scriptures speak of only one author, one Isaiah. The book opens up with the words in Isaiah 1:1, the vision of Isaiah, the son of Amos. Okay, same for the new section in Isaiah 13:1, the burden against Babylon, which Isaiah, the son of Amos, saw. 13 times Isaiah, son of Amos, is mentioned in the Hebrew scriptures to show that it is always the same person. Yet many scholars assume it was someone else. Again, the reason is simply because they don't believe in the power of prophecy and chose to limit its extent by the extent that is of divine knowledge. Many come, to the scriptures and treat it as if it was a mere collection of writings devoid of any divine inspiration. But there's a bright side to this, because their criticism alerts us to something very special, that something is happening. It is the extraordinary nature of these prophecies that forces them to look for another explanation. To give you a concrete example, or a couple of them, let us look at the prophecy we find in Isaiah chapter 13 about Babylon. This empire is here described as a force that would uproot the Assyrian Empire, which was powerful at that time. But the Babylonians at the time of the writing of the prophecy of Isaiah 13 were of military insignificance, really a non-existent power. The Babylonian Empire was at its height later on, at the time of the prophet Daniel. Daniel and Isaiah are separated by some 150 years. But Isaiah's prophecies about Babylon were so precise that they were thought to have been written afterwards. Therefore, a second Isaiah was invented. Furthermore, in Isaiah chapter 13, the same chapter, verse 17, speaks of another people who would later uproot the Babylonians. And he actually names them. They are the Medes, who were at the time even less significant as a force, just small tribes scattered everywhere. They rose up some 350 years after Isaiah. And the prophet spoke of them as such a power as to uproot the Babylonians. And it happened exactly as he prophesied. So they created another author. They added to the word of God in order to explain the power of prophecies we have in the scriptures. And furthermore, and I want to tell you, this is even more powerful. In Isaiah chapter 44, verse 28, the prophet even supplies the name of the leader of the Medo-Persian Empire, Cyrus. 350 years before his birth, the Spirit of God inspired Isaiah with the name of this leader. How ironic that Cyrus himself was quite impressed when he was shown the book of Isaiah with his name already inserted in there. It's written, "It is I who says of Cyrus, he is my shepherd," God says, "and he will perform all my desire." Again, Cyrus is named 350 years before his birth. This is the precision and foreknowledge of Bible prophecy. It was Josephus, the first century historian, who wrote the following when describing Cyrus' reaction when he actually read the book of Isaiah. He says, "When Cyrus read this and admired the divine power and earnest desire of ambition seized upon him to fulfill what was written, so he called for the most eminent Jews that were in Babylon and said to them that he gave them leave to go back to their own country and to rebuild their city, Jerusalem, and the temple of God. Here are two individuals, not believers as far as we know, Josephus and Cyrus, being so impressed by the prophecies of Isaiah. And there was a good reason why the Lord inscribed Cyrus' name in the scriptures. This was the time when the Jews returned to start the rebuilding of the second temple, which eventually included both Ezra and Nehemiah. It was rebuilt to usher the first coming of Yeshua. Cyrus was so impressed by the scriptures that he not only allowed them, that is the Jews, to return to build the second temple, but he helped them with many riches, even gave them back all that the Babylonians have stolen or taken from the first temple. Such is the power of the prophecies of the scriptures.